The hype is here. 3 days of nonstop tailgating. The Staffing Sales Summit coming next week. Johnny, what is up, brother?
Richard, I am so excited. The second annual, we knew it was coming. We knew the minute the last one ended that Dan was going to do it again, and everybody's psyched.
We are pumped. And Dan's on location here somewhere in Florida, man. What's up, Dan?
What is up, boys? Yeah, I am in the middle of nowhere out in...
Uh-oh. Did we lose signal?
We lost his audio.
Dan, can you hear us, man?
He can hear us. We can't hear you. And
No.
I am a horrible lip reader, so I have no idea what you're saying.
Uh-oh.
Gator got his phone.
Gator got his phone. Now he's gone.
Do you got to wait? You
There
turn
you
my
go.
son? All right.
You're
Now
back,
you're
brother.
back.
You're back.
You're back.
For a minute, I was going to call 911, buddy.
Yeah, you might. If you don't hear from me by next week, I would. I'd send out search and rescue. So yeah, no, I'm middle of nowhere, Central Florida, recharging the batteries on vacation with the family before we bring it. So getting fired up.
Dan is freezing up here, man. I love it.
He is in a bad reception zone in the middle of nowhere, which if you're on vacation, that's a good place to be.
It is. So, Dan, are you pumped up for next week or what, man?
Yeah. I'm fired up. And I know I hate bringing bad service to a live stream, but I had to be here for the kickoff. I'm fired up for the Staffing Sales Summit. That's why I'm on vacation this week, to recharge the batteries. But yeah, I'm in literally the middle of nowhere.
I love it, man. So before we let you go, man, because then you're going to get back to your family, any shout outs, man? What's going on next week? Is there one ticket left? Did you say that?
There's one, as of yesterday, there's one ticket left. It might be gone. I've not had service to check, but there was one ticket left to be sold for this summit. So we knew we would sell out before the event. I think we're going to hit that goal. So if anyone today, this is your chance. There's one more.
One ticket left. Get it before the show's over. Before the tailgate's over, let's get it, man.
Sold out.
It'll be sold. It'll be sold today. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
All right, Dan, before I let you go, man, I ask everybody this. What's your favorite Jimmy Buffett song? Throw it to me.
Oh, my God, man. So this is going to sound a little crazy, but I actually like when he joined Alan Jackson with It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. I love that jam. I think it embodies like my life of always trying to get out of work and do vacation stuff. So I like when he joined with Alan Jackson and It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, which we know where that's going to be, Shark. That's actually going to be 5 o'clock on Thursday.
You know it, baby. You know it, man.
Poolside at the bar.
You know it.
All right, boys.
And here it is right here. Check it out. Bam. Get ready. The ultimate nit mixer. All right, brother, man. Dan, well, hey, thank you so much, man. I'll catch you on Friday, probably on the end of it, man.
We will, and I'll be in a better service area then, because vacation will be over and we'll be locked and loaded to bring the summit to Orlando.
You got it, man.
Be safe, my friend.
Safe, buddy.
See you, boys. Thank you so much.
Anytime, brother. Take care, man. Awesome. Johnny.
Hope the Gators don't get him, Richard. Hope the Gators
No. I tell you what, it looked like he was in a swamp, man. He said he was in, Orlando is a swamp.
Up in the background, he could have been a storm chaser. Who knows?
I know. Wow. I love it. Good stuff here. So you ready for the kickoff? Here we go, Johnny. I am pumped, man. I love tailgates. The one, the only Kim Henderson is in the house.
Nice.
Hey, Shark. Hey, John. Great to be with you again.
What's going on?
All right.
Cheers. That's water, by the way.
All right.
Sure.
I don't know about that.
Okay, Kim, before we even start, here's a tradition we're going to start here, okay? So I got to tell you, we're going to Margaritaville, right? It would not be Margaritaville without a lay around your neck.
Oh.
Woo!
Always hits the props.
Okay, so I'm going to one-up your lay, and I'm going to come with a better one to Margaritaville.
Ooh, a better one than the Sharks Blue. Look at that. Johnny, you better join the lay club, man. You better have a lay, too.
I'm going to. It's going to beat yours. It's going to kick yours in the tail.
See, this is that competitive that Kim has. You know that, John, in sales and anything. She loves us, but she wants to kick my tail in the air, man. Come on, Kim.
Hey,
I do. Mine's going to be better, and we're gonna have a vote on it, and everyone's going to agree.
Ooh, during your presentation, look out. So hey, Kim. So I'm excited here. Me and John are. So I'm just going to throw it in, and I'll let John elaborate. So your presentation. I mean, break it down to us. We want a teaser for everybody out there that's going to show up.
Okay, great. Well, actually, there's two presentations.
Great.
So one of them, and Johnny, given his background, could probably check me on a little bit of this when we go live and do it on Friday. It's actually selling to MSPs, right? And think about it, guys. So many people in our industry feel like MSPs are a 4-letter word, right? And we hoped in 1999 when they came on the scene that they would go away. Well, fast forward, they have a stronghold in every industry and every size customer that we encounter. And what I'm here to say is they're not the enemy, right? They're not the ones that we have to avoid and cringe and run from. There are many different ways to team with them, partner with them, and actually make it a fruitful relationship, not only for them, but for us too. But it just takes a few things, right? You have to know, how to approach them, what to ask, what their pain points are, and then how you can go and craft your solution to where they can show up for their customers and achieve all the goals that they have with their end clients. And then with that too, I think some of the things that people miss is there's benefits to us to working with an MSP, right? For instance, we go out there without an MSP, Shark, and we hunt and we peck for job orders and we look. Well, oftentimes if you're working with a VMS through the MSP, you got job orders that come to you, right? It starts to expose opportunities in locations, different geographies and with different skill sets. And maybe you didn't even know existed in that account, right? And maybe you see a sweet spot, right? Where you can place traveling RN nurses in, Albuquerque, New Mexico, but you didn't even know that existed until you saw it through the VMS. So a lot of benefits to it. We just have to know the right questions to ask and how to go and find the pain points of the MSP.
I was so excited to see that presentation, that session on the docket, because it's very timely. You're absolutely right. And it's funny because in about an hour, I'm going to be on a panel on a webinar with the American Staffing Association on that same topic. And one thing that people, to your point, they're almost like intimidated by the MSP, like, or maybe we should get our own MSPs, when in reality, there are firms out there that are making boatloads of revenue and all they do is feed MSPs. They just have the commitment and the focus. And really, I wanted your take on this. The MSP just becomes your client. It's not like it's this taboo. Instead of going directly to the source, the MSP becomes your client. So you treat them as such, and it can be a great opportunity if you know how to work with it and you commit to it.
John, you said it beautifully. And the great part is that once that MSP becomes your client and you actually show up and you deliver and you service them, what does that do? That opens up more clients that MSP is managing. So it's almost like you start to gain these new clients just by showing up, answering, hitting the metrics, giving them the type of headcount that they need. So, it's like the success, the one MSP begets success in other areas of their portfolio, right? And also too, people think that sometimes they can disenfranchise you from the hiring managers and the hiring leadership. And that's not always the case, right? As long as you're not going behind the MSP's back to do anything that's a little sideways, you still can have oftentimes that relationship with the hiring managers to determine what their pain points are and how you can help them as well. As long as you're queuing the MSP in and leaving them is part of the whole process, usually that's okay. So I think there's a misconception that, oh gosh, I'm never going to be able to talk to the hiring manager. Or
100%.
It's not always true.
You summed up real quick, guys, is like, it's teamwork. Everybody wants control, and they think they lose control when they have MSP. You know that. I mean, they think, well, I don't own anything, at the end of the day. So that's where that trusting comes in, Kim, which I love. You're going to identify this because MSP, Johnny, it gets a bad name over and over.
It does. And I'm sure there are some MSPs out there that deservedly get a bad name, right? Just like there are clients that you don't really want to work with either. But if you find the right one, you hit the nail on the head, Shark, in the sense that it's teamwork. You team up with the MSP and you work with them. Don't take the attitude like, oh, I've got to do this. No, I'm able to do this. So take advantage of it.
Yeah. And the great news on that, John, is, I have a whole segment at the end of this that says, what if the MSP resists us, right? We can't get in. And I look at it really, it's the same way as if a prospect resists us, right? And we can't get in. You do the same things. You build the relationships, you candidate market, you evolve your solution to answer their pain points as they evolve. Maybe you team with another supplier if it makes business sense. And then sometimes, as you know, oftentimes there's statement of work business going on concurrent to the MSP. Is that an avenue that you can go and work through and work down so you can get into the MSP? Can you do
another area you know a little bit about, Kim?
A little bit. Last year, statement of work.
Exactly. Yeah. A little flashback to last year. So, I mean, it's you have to approach it with the long-term mentality of a partnership, just like you would a client. So it's really not that different, but you hit on something, John, that I love. In the very beginning, I talk about it. It's not every MSP is going to be the right match for every company, right? And the onus is on us to determine that. And don't kid yourself. If you can't match the skill set, you can't match the process or the rates or the geographic location, then, step aside and say, hey, we're not the best fit for you right now, but let's keep the door open and talk about other programs as they come online. They're going to have a lot more respect for you than you signing up and then really shooting yourself in the foot because it's a bad match to begin with and you didn't show up, right?
I love it. Okay,
Well
Kim,
said.
so that's one. What's the other segment you have?
Yeah, so the other one is actually gaining client share and being able to set better meetings and manage our meetings better, right? And what I mean by that, so think about it, Shark, how many times in our industry have you seen folks that go into a client meeting and they're there for one thing, one job order, right? It's like the job order, the job order, the job order. And while we know that's how we live and how we survive, right? We got to look at it deeper. We got to look at it in terms of gaining client share out of the account. So this presentation kind of covers a few things. Number one, how do you position yourself, right? We need to be positioning ourselves as, that subject matter expert, that advisor, that specialist, that counselor to our customers. And we do that through really knowing their industry, right? Knowing the industry so well and being so educated in it that we're starting to educate the client about it. And that's what they expect these days. They just don't want a placement. They want us to educate them on the issues of their industry, right?
We're not there just to be an order taker.
Not at all, guys. It's one word. I'm going to give you the key word. I always say valuetainment. Bring value, but entertainment too. You got to have humor and everything in it. I always say listen, learn, and then lead. And I think that's
love that. You have to put the entertainment fact to it. But and it's so easy today to become, a specialist in something with all the information that's out there and become a student of it. So I think it starts there, right? That's how you differentiate yourself. But then it's planning out the meeting. In terms of, what do you ask to gain client share? What do you ask to learn?
Wait. You mean I've actually got to prepare for this meeting, Kim?
You know what, John? Imagine that. Yeah, no kidding, right? That when you go in by the seat of your pants, it doesn't always turn out so well. And I think in our industry where you have a lot of type A salespeople, we've all seen that. Some guy comes running in there. He's late. He's not prepared. He's got papers falling out of his notebook, and he shoots from the hip. And while you may not crash and burn every time, you're certainly going to leave opportunity on the table and money washing off the dock because you haven't prepared all the questions. And, and to that point, you're going to miss opportunity, right? You haven't teed up that meeting to go in armed with everything you need to ask and know. And then, John, to that point, have you ever heard of, and I learned this in 2013, pretty late on in my career, and it changed the trajectories of my meeting. Have you guys ever heard of the upfront contract by Sandler Sales in terms of teeing up a meeting?
I know Sandler, but I don't remember that. Enlighten us.
This is something that I learned in 2013 and I wasn't doing it. And I'm like, I'm going to try this. And it totally changed. What it is, net, it's you're agreeing with that prospect before you go into the meeting, what's going to happen in the meeting, right? So you set the objective of the meeting. That. You lay out ahead of time what you want to cover in the meeting so they come prepared. Conversely, you ask them, what do you want to get out of this meeting? What topics do you want to cover? What do you want to make sure I'm prepared to talk about, right? So they become vested, they become engaged in it. And then, you agree on time because who wants to show up and they go, I got 5 minutes for you, Kim, don't even bother sitting down. None of that anymore. And then finally, you agree together on what the outcome of the meeting and the next steps are going to be, right? So many times we walked out of a meeting, you're like, wow, I think that was great, but what do I do now? I'm not really sure what just happened in there. So it eliminates all that. And it eliminates you getting derailed in a meeting and not covering, you talk about Johnny's baseball game or, their trip to the Philippines. Next thing you know, 30 minutes have ticked off the clock. And you're like, uh-oh, I don't have any information. So it organizes a meeting and it makes them vested in what's going to happen because they've already told you what they want to talk about. Therefore, you come prepared, right?
Absolutely love that. And I imagine you could echo that, in an email ahead of time saying, hey, just to recap, here's what's going on in our meeting. And you're showing them, yes, you're respecting their time, but you're also showing that, hey, respect my time because my time's important too. And let's make the most of our time together. I love that. What I also love, and that hopefully everybody listening or watching is picking up on, is you said you heard about that and you applied it. There's so many little nuggets that we come across over the years as we're doing this business. You should always try new things. If it works, great. If not, you kick it out the door and you don't do it again. But I love the fact that you said, hey, I'm going to try that. And darned if it didn't work. That's awesome.
There's a lot of times I would have walked into a meeting and they had moved the goalpost, right? But I never would have known that had I not reiterated that upfront contract when I sat down. They're like, I'm not really interested in that anymore. Here's what I want to know now. So it enables you to pivot really easily, right? And to your point, Johnny, I had some folks on my team. One guy in particular, great producer, he rebuffed it. He's like, I'm not doing that, Kim. That sounds stupid. I'm not doing that. And then finally one day he had chased this prospect for 6 months and he gets the guy ready to commit to him. And then so we walk into the call. It was a phone conference call. Long story short, the prospect came in wanting to talk about 3 specific things. My guy just wanted to talk about how to get into the program. So the prospect's getting kind of hacked off that his questions aren't getting answered. And we're going, well, how do we get in the program? So it was a miss, right? Everyone had different expectations going into the call. Therefore, it blew up and nobody got what they wanted. And after that guy became a believer and started to do the upfront contract. Takes the guesswork out of your meetings.
Absolutely love that. It's also, I imagine, it can be a litmus test to see how serious your prospect is.
You're right. And Johnny, you hit on something. It creates equal business stature, right? We're not subservient to them. They're not subservient to us. We're in a guest host relationship, right? We're both there to help each other and get something out of that relationship. So it's equal business stature. I love how you hit on that.
You summed it up, Kim, and I love it too. And you could do this on the phone too. I love closing deals on the phone. I mean, this is not just in person. I think the biggest thing is that we both agree on, you know what, you got to listen, you got to do your research. Walking in and just dropping off a business card and saying, I got staffing for you doesn't work. And it never really did, So Kim, I love it. I can't wait to hear this. What's up, John?
No, I said, you're right. It adds no value if you do that. So by doing something like this, you're going in and you're showing your commitment to add value and make something happen. Let's maximize the time. And by doing this, you're separating yourself from the competition because, hey, let's face it. Most people in our industry do not do this. And
they don't at all,
again,
guys.
Sidebar, I say, great, keep doing what you're doing because
Kim,
it makes it easier for everybody else to be different.
It is. It's actually, and Kim, you know what? I'll tell you this real quick. And John knows this on the streets. I would say 8 out of 10 staffing firms just go in and try to sell. Push it right down their throat. They don't have that communication because they have numbers to meet. This is where I love what your presentation is going to be about. You want to get your numbers, but you also got to do your research and be prepared. You just can't just throw stuff and hope something lands.
Yeah. And you have to ask questions, right? And determine the whole opportunity. And then what you'll find is through the questions, certain opportunities will start to crystallize in your mind. You're like, oh, wow, they've got a specialized skill set. They typically need, IT security people that have a secret clearance, and, oh, we do government contracting. That's my in here. I can explain to them how we find cleared people or how we can get them cleared on our own that have the IT skills. So it starts to open up opportunities that you wouldn't know about had you not start asking, the big picture questions that we'll go through in the presentation, right?
Huge.
Again, versus just getting that one job order, you're done. Then you're on the hamster wheel and you're starting all over again. And John and Rich, you guys know this. In staffing, we compare ourselves to ourselves, I always say. And we think we're doing a great job by placing 5 people on an account. Then we start asking these big picture questions and find out our competition is roasting us because they're making 30 direct hires a year and they've got, 95 contractors on assignment. And we missed the boat because we never asked. We were too busy patting ourselves on the back for the 5 people that we placed. We never asked.
You got it right. Woo, man. I can't wait for this, Kim. 2 sessions with Kim. Look out.
I know, right?
3 times. I'm already running right now, John. This is crazy. So, Kim, you ready for some fun now?
Let's do it.
All right. So, first off, remember this picture. Look at that.
Oh, my gosh, that's last year. Yes.
Woo-hoo!
There we are.
It's going to be great this year. And there is one ticket left, Kim. So if you know anybody, give a shout out right here. February 26th, 28th, next week in Margaritaville. We will be there for sure.
It's going to be great. You know what's amazing about this summit? Beyond the fact that you and I talked about it's big, but it's not like gargantuan, is that I don't care if you've been in staffing for 3 weeks or 35 years, I can guarantee it, you will learn something. I learned things last year that I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. I never looked at it that way. I'm going to try that. So I can guarantee everyone will walk away with actionable items that regardless of their industry experience. That's
100%.
I love it. Real quick here, let's give a shout out to the sponsor, Nationwide Screening Services. If you need a background check or drug testing, Nationwide, give them a call, Angela. And also, real quick, Kim, you ready for this? I gotta throw this up here. Are you ready for the mixer with me, John, and everybody else? Woo!
I can't wait. The mixer is one of my favorite parts. Right? That's our wind up. It's a wind up.
And we're gonna be live. The mixer will be live on all platforms, even on TikTok. I believe this year we're gonna do. So look out. We're gonna be everywhere.
I am wondering, will Richard and Tom Erb have a rematch?
Yes.
Oh boy, Shark versus. Well, we'll see. All right, Kim, any other questions?
The lay I have. I'm gonna outdo you on your baby blue lay.
Ooh, you know what? It's on now, Kim. Okay, so last question I got for you, Kim. You ready for this? Favorite Jimmy Buffett song? Give it to me.
It's got to be the most popular one. Living on Sponge Cake, Blew Up My Flip Flop, whatever that one's called, Wasting Away in Margaritaville.
There it is.
Vocally conventional, but it's like, it's kind of like social media marketing. It's like the more you hear something, the more you see it. Actually, the more you start to engage with it and like it. So there's truth in that, right? So it's my favorite one. You can't beat it.
There it is. All right, fellas, we're out of here. Tailgate continues with Mark Winter coming up soon. Hey, Kim, thank you so much. And we'll talk soon.
We'll see you next week.
All right, Johnny. All right, Shark. See you next week. Have fun, enjoy, and we're gonna rock it. Be awesome.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, peeps. Get ready.
Bye, guys.
Take care.